right, good morning. We will call DRC meeting to order. All right. Morning, April 30th, 2025 DRC meeting. We'll call it to order. We'll start with roll call. Community development is present. Police department,
Present.
public works,
Present.
fire,
Present.
and building.
Here.
Okay, here, not present. Okay, all right. So I'll remind all the applicants in attendance that the meeting is being live streamed. If you are going to speak to DRC, please come to the podium so we can get your comments on the record. First item is an annexation of property located at 1920 Sheeler Avenue, and Dr. June Son is the project manager.
Good morning. The applicant has requested annexation of the properties located at 1920 Schiller Avenue. The total size of the property is about 40 acres, currently using for residential and vacant. Surrounding properties are residential land use with a residential low density, which allows 5 dwelling units per acre with a residential zoning. The purpose of annexation is for residential development.
All right, and I believe the applicant's representative is here. Do you have any questions or comments for the DRC?
Good morning, DRC members. Jonathan Hewells with the Lowndes Law Firm, 215 North Eula Drive, Orlando. We have no questions with regarding the comments. We've already yesterday filed a response letter with the information that's been requested. This, of course, is the first step in a multi-step process, starting with the annexation. There's also a comp plan amendment and rezoning application that has been submitted as pending. Annexation, of course, goes first to City Council, and then the comp plan and the rezoning will follow. This is for annexation and proposed development of a single-family residential subdivision of about little less than 2.5 dwelling units an acre. So not a very dense project. I think when you see the site plan, you'll get more feel for it. But it's a you'll see this multiple times. And happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for the applicant? Okay, hearing none. Community development has nothing further. Police, any further questions? Okay. Public works,
No questions.
fire,
No comments, thank you.
and building.
I don't have anything, thanks.
All right, thank you, sir. Next item, Cold Link Logistics variance. First submittal, Dr. Son.
The applicant has requested zoning variance for building height at location of 2560 West Orange Blossom Trail. The current land use is industrial, zoning is light industrial. The Land Development Code allows maximum building height of 45 feet in light industrial zoning. The applicant has requested two variants to increase building height to 58 feet. Applicant is here.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind just coming before the DRC and giving kind of an overview of the request for the variance and the reason for it.
Yeah, good morning, Carlos Lopez with Cold Link Logistics. The main reason for the height variance is once we do this expansion, we have been on the property for 2020 and have a big demand for more space due to customers growing in the area. So once we do this expansion, we would be landlocked. So in order to maximize the cubic space and get as many pallet positions as possible, that's why we're requesting the height variance. That's where the cold storage industry as a whole is heading with new technology. Forklifts are going taller, fire suppression systems, all the technology. So these buildings are getting taller as the industry is going. So that's the main reason for the variance.
Yeah, and I believe the maximum height that's permitted in the IL zoning district is 45 feet. You're requesting 53, you said? 58. Okay, 58. So it's a difference of 13 feet. The variance process, how it works is that the request would go before just the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission would determine whether or not there's a hardship. If there is, they would either vote to approve the variance, approve it with conditions, or deny it. If the variance request is denied, it could then be appealed by the applicant to the City Council. Any questions for the applicant? Anything additional?
In regards to the new building being built there, what are this might be something for later on, it's outside the variance, but with the traffic problems we have coming into the Cold Lake area, I get calls from neighbors quite a bit about parking along the road into the neighborhoods. What's the plan of what you guys are going to do for access points in there?
So Josh Enot, with Kimley Horn, 200 South Orange Avenue. The traffic, we did do a TIA, and that was submitted with the as a part of the rezoning and future land use amendment. So as part of that TIA, we are going to be improving Mayflower, going into the cold link logistics, and then we're talking with the DOT on the expanding a left turn lane into um, into Lakeview.
In the Lakeview.
Yes.
Okay. I just want you guys to be aware that that's a big issue we have there with I guess it's what I used to call Boy Scout like Lakeview, and that's what the road is. But I get quite a few calls from neighbors backing up, stacking of trucks into the neighborhoods in there. The stacking of Lakeview. There's quite a few semi, especially first thing in the morning when you guys are probably receiving a lot of your shipments, and that's something that has to be addressed. It's not working as of now, and we have to address that. So, all right, that's all I got.
And just a comment on the Mayflower. That is something we're seeing, and we plan to expand that road so you can it could fit pretty much up to 4 tractor trailers side to side, and then back them up so they won't go on to what's Lakeview now. And like Josh said, Lakeview would also get improved with a turning lane, so we wouldn't block the traffic going in or out of there.
That's fine. I don't. I mean, that sounds good. I'll be interested to see how you guys come up with a plan.
Absolutely.
I don't like Chief McKinley normally says. We don't design in here, but the idea of it behind it is, with you guys expanding, what you have now is not working.
Mhm.
So with the expansion comes even more that we have to address.
Mhm.
So there's something that needs to be taken care of, and we'll keep our eyes on it. So
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Any further comments, questions for the applicant?
Yes. So the left turn lanes on Lakeville, you're gonna have to coordinate that with the county.
The left turn lane's not for Lakeview; it's for Orange Blossom Trail. It's extending the existing, and that's what the TIA is saying that we need to
Okay. What about the
improve on.
left turn on Lakeville going into Mayflower?
So all of our traffic turns right into Mayflower. It comes from Orange Blossom Trail. You're looking at the screen. It comes
Okay. So,
on.
so nothing will come from the south side.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
How do you say nothing's going to come from the south?
From the south side, because all of our traffic comes from the Orange Blossom Trail, which is on the north side. So from the south side, there's just residents, and a lot of our traffic is truck trailer traffic. If there are expansion of employees, some employees might come from the south, but it's not. That
Okay.
that's
Yeah. So the south will be pretty much either coming from Binion or Orange Boulevard.
Right,
Through
but there's
over
trucks
there.
coming from, and I apologize. I just got called, 20 minutes
Well-
ago to fill in. So,
My thought is this: I think you have a point, especially with the potential of the 429 opening up onto
yeah,
Binion when they open the new exit up right there at Binion and what Boy Scout is now. Is that going to address more traffic coming from that direction? Because if you guys are using the 429, it obviously can't really you can look into the future of it and all, but that tells me trucks are going to potentially be pulling off and coming from both directions.
No, not
So
necessarily. I think because those are the ramps coming from the north.
Oh, it is coming
So
from the
yeah,
Correct.
so there's going to be nothing coming from the south on 429.
So those ramps will
Basically,
be
you're
going
going to have a
off and
ramp
then going-
coming, southbound, getting off, and there's going to be a deceleration lane and acceleration lane going to the north. So I don't expect any traffic to come.
from this.
Semi trailers coming through Binion because Binion cannot support it anyway.
correct.
Awesome. All right, thank you.
So I think really what the consideration right now before the DRC is a variance for the height of the building. With the traffic is a concern though for the site planning and stuff like that. So right now we're considering the variance for the building height to go higher than what the code allows. With that, we'll go around and see if there's any objection to the height variance request from community development. As of right now, there's no objection. Police, okay. Public Works.
Is there any? What is the main reason for the variance in height?
The main reason would be just so we can maximize our capacity to store product. Once we build the expansion, we have no more land to keep going wide per se. So, like I said, the industry is getting higher due to the
Okay.
advances in technology. So that's the reason.
Is that going to be closer to the road, or that height's going to be more on the inside, in the back of the property that it's facing? I think, is it Coca-Cola on the side, south side of it?
It's
Okay,
going to
because
match the
that's going to be a big factor of.
it's going to match the existing building. So
Mhm.
we're going to attach to
Okay.
the existing structure. This one would just be taller, obviously, than the existing.
Okay. Okay, just information on it.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah, no other questions.
Okay. Fire, any objections to the height variance request?
No objections.
Okay. And building?
No objection.
Okay. With that, it doesn't sound like there's any objection to the height request from the DRC. However, this would go to the Planning Commission, and they would be the ultimate arbiter of this. And like I said, if they deny it, you have the right to appeal to the City Council. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Next item, Hogshead, 4301 Hogshead Construction Site Plan. Dr. Song.
Okay, so this is a second submittal of CSP for minor development plan of industrial development located at 4301 Hogs Head. The property is about 17 acres with a future land use designation of industrial, zoning of light industrial. Planning has no further comments, but we have not received any comments from public services. So
Yes, we're a little bit behind on this. We're gonna try to complete everything by Friday. We had some deadlines. Actually, we have one deadline today.
Okay.
To address on on an annual certification for the state, and we'll definitely address that.
okay.
Yes.
The applicant's in attendance. Do you have any questions or comments of the DRC?
So this is our second round, so we're going to get comments by Friday, and then how does that work? Do we come back to DRC once we respond to those comments for a third round?
If they're planning doesn't have any more comments, if the only outstanding comments are from Public Works, I think you could just work directly.
I think also there was a I think yesterday the meeting was scheduled also with the developer for next Wednesday, I believe, 10 o'clock, to go over some of the utilities there, and I think that's something we need to take a closer look at.
Okay. McNulty Group.
I think it came from Sean. I think Doug had some correspondence, so I'm pretty sure they scheduled it for next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Yes.
Okay. So I guess we'll wait for the comments then on Friday.
Yes,
and,
we'll definitely complete everything by Friday.
Okay. All right. Then I have no questions.
All right. Any questions? Any additional questions or comments for the applicant? All right. Hearing none. Community Development has nothing further. Police, anything additional to add? Okay. Public Works.
Nothing in this point.
Okay. Fire.
I apologize for walking out just for a second. I know I reviewed this a second time and made a mistake on my review, and I apologize to you guys for that. The hydrants were discussed in our review, and you guys are running water to this site.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Building.
I don't have anything. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item, Ondich South Construction Site Plan, first submittal, Gene Sanchez, Project Manager.
Good morning. This is the construction site plan for Ondich South. You may remember this. This is located south of Ondich, west of the Western Beltway. And it is for 300, it's for the construction of 300, I think if I recall correctly, 326 units of single families, as well as I think there are bungalows proposed for this also. I didn't get many comments from DRC. Planning did a couple of comments, and they look pretty like insignificant to me. I just placed a note on there that gopher tortoises were discovered on site, so they have to get their FWC permit before construction, but that's usually taken care of in pre-construction meetings, and the arbor mitigation as well is due. So, with that said, I didn't get a chance to get comments from public services. Vlad, I just want to make sure everything's good. There wasn't much comments on the MDP, mainly because that was more of a horizontal
Yes,
plan.
yes.
So,
Same thing like the previous one. We're gonna try. I know there were nothing
okay.
on the utilities, but I need to sit down with them and we'll try to complete everything by Friday.
Okay.
I think in general, I glanced at that before the meeting.
Mhm.
It seems like the left turn lanes, the right turn lanes should be working just based on the MDP comments. But yeah, if there's anything particular, we'll definitely have
All
the
right.
comments ready.
Great. Let me know because once we get approval for CSB, I have to send it out for DRC signatures for the approved plans. But
Yes.
I'm more concerned about utilities and everything else. Okay.
Yeah,
Just keep
yeah,
me
the
posted,
utility. Yeah,
whatever you guys
yeah,
decide.
exactly. There's gonna be some conversation on the utilities
Okay.
because
Perfect.
yeah, the other project, as you know, canceled the utility extension along EFI.
Yeah.
So, and I think Luke is aware of that. So, um, well, there was a original plan for, I believe, Galvin Development to extend some of the utilities along EFI.
Yeah.
That is not in place anymore.
I reached out to Dahl. I showed him all of our utility
Okay.
extensions, and then I looked at your master plan, the utility master plan back from 2010 that were done, and I coordinated with him. I actually already have an exhibit that I sent him and a draft utility upsizing agreement.
Okay.
So that's already
Yes, that's
it's not done, but it's in place and being reviewed by Dahl.
Okay.
The only thing I don't have right now is the values because we're waiting on the contractor to separate out the materials only versus, because I know the city only plays materials versus materials and labor, but that's but the draft agreement is done and the exhibits are done. I can copy you on it. I'm not sure. I think I might have copied Diana before you were
Okay.
present,
I'll take a look at it.
but I'll send it to you
Problem.
today so you can have the draft.
Okay.
Mhm. And Jeremy, I appreciate you working so late last night and responding to our emails. Well, we went back and double checked. We did correct the fire. It is the 47-foot one on this plan. The MDP had the old style fire truck. This one has the correct fire truck, but we'll leave it as is.
I was unable to open it on the new on this plan, which was really odd. It wouldn't open. It was giving me an error, so that's why I went back to that and was trying to figure that out. But I did see that you guys updated it, which is fine. Those roundabouts. I mean, on your auto turns, obviously it's an auto turn, so it doesn't always show the trucks exactly under where the roundabouts go. But those roundabouts are size big enough that we're not going to have an issue driving through those, correct? We have some neighborhoods that seem to be really tight and they're almost drivable type roundabouts, and I'm just curious of what we're doing with these roundabouts. Are they similar?
We
to
didn't
that?
put medians. We did not put medians on the off branches, so it's just striped. So it should be easier for you. From everything we're showing in auto turn, the 47-foot truck, I forgot the name of it, but it's a 47-foot.
Truck.
Yeah, that one should get through fine. From everything we're showing on auto turn.
Okay.
I don't know if you want us to model something different.
No, that's fine. No, I'm good with it. I was looking at it. I looked at it last night, and I'm comfortable with it. We have some neighborhoods in the city that are new that I'm a little concerned with the way the roundabouts are. But I mean,
I can understand that. Yeah.
Look, one brief question on the.
There are trees. There is landscaping in the center of that one.
I don't mind the landscaping. You'll probably have. What kind of trees do you have on there? I don't recall.
I would have to go back and look. I don't know that one.
Please don't put palm trees.
I'll look
Please
at
no
it.
what?
I don't like seeing the trees in there just because
Yeah.
it's just challenging.
Okay.
Is it a mountable?
I'm going to give you my point of view from a
It is.
firefighter on a fire truck.
Yeah.
My view is people hit the trees and they get hurt really bad when they're in the middle of those islands and those
You can remove
roundabouts.
the trees and for
Okay.
Shrubbery,
So I'll look at it again.
you know.
I think what we were asked before was to add the tree. So there's the roundabout. There's also a tree island to the north. We were asked to add that because you want the visual impediment for drivers to help to force them to slow down. We can remove that, but then I think the tree islands don't function the same. I think without the visual impediment, there's a tree island here as well as a roundabout there.
That decision.
Okay. I'd say it's really probably under Vlad's jurisdiction now. I know Pam was really pushing for those for a long time, and so that was part of the reason we had those. And then Diana liked him as well. But that's something we can get the plans approved and talk about that during construction. That's not really a big thing for us. We can remove it or have it. You guys just tell us what you want. We can talk about that at pre-con if the city decides to not do those anymore. The good thing is the street does have parallel parking on the side, and so based on all the studies, everyone shows if you have parallel parking, it helps naturally reduce traffic because you're concerned about a door opening up or someone coming up. So that does help, but I do know that the tree islands do offer that visual impediment to force drivers to kind of not go too fast because it just makes you weave a little bit around them.
Yes. So this will be a primary access even for crossroads at Kelly Park coming from Effie, right? It looks like, because on the west side you're connecting to crossroads, right?
Correct. We have two
Okay.
correct connections to crossroads on the west side and then at the southwest. We're connecting to them two different locations.
Yeah, I see that. What about the southeast? Because I see like a cul-de-sac there. Is that
Mhm.
temporary, or are you gonna connect it
It's meant to be
potentially at some point? Okay.
correct. Yeah, we're stubbing it out. That development that hasn't come in yet for development, as far as I know, with the city. I know that they're actively marketing that property, and so they want to develop in the future.
Okay.
But we stub the right of way. The right of way goes all the way to the property line. It's intended to extend further. We just
Okay.
did a cul-de-sac as a,
Correct. So at that point, the cul-de-sac will be eliminated, and it will just
correct. It can be. Yep.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
It's
It's real hard to see on the small scale here, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm gathering.
Yeah.
and one more thing, though, just also it's on record. We discussed the hydrants. I knew you and I discussed it. I discussed it with her.
Yeah.
My point was where you guys are making connection to the city's water.
At Kelly Park.
Yeah, Kelly Park. We're gonna have hydrants on Effie en route.
We have them every 1,000, so we're going to change it to every 500 based on the code she referenced last night. Even though the way the code reads is that if you're in the residential or non-commercial, you can do it every 1,000. Our thought process is really you have the hospital coming on that east side of Effie Road. Eventually, they own the property. I don't know what they're going to do, but I know they're coming at some point. And then there's also some transitional on the east to the south of us. And so our thought is it's probably going to be a mix of commercial and or hospital, institutional. So we'd rather just, for the abundance of caution, just say, hey, we'll do it every 500 feet just to make sure there's no issues. So we're updating our plans, and that'll be one of the changes you'll see every 500 feet on Effie Drive.
Perfect. Thanks, sir.
No problem.
Any further questions for the applicant? All right, hearing none, community development has nothing further. Police,
Nothing.
public works,
No further questions.
fire,
No other comments. Thank you.
building.
I don't have anything. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Final item on the agenda is Golden Gym Estates construction site plan. Gene Sanchez, project manager.
This is the construction site plan for the Golden Gem Estates located on the northwest corner of Golden Gem Road and Trestle Trail. It's 65 lots. And it's kind of the same. I didn't really get much comments from DRC members. I think I have insignificant comments from planning. I just need to make sure those things are noted. I didn't get any comments from public services either on this, Vlad.
No,
So I'm assuming it'll be the same kind of situation. Just keep
we
me
had to move
posted.
the deadline, yes.
Yeah, so I can prep the plans for signature once y'all have your comments addressed offline.
Okay, is the applicant in attendance?
Yeah, Jeff Summit, Summit Engineering, as Gene alluded to, yeah, it's pretty minor comments from planning. So, Vlad, this one's all you, man. All you.
So I see you have a connection to is that Gardenia to the north?
That is Gardenia to the north, yeah.
Okay.
It's Green Shade Grove Drive.
Yes, on Golden Gem, I believe there is a left turn lane.
So
that
the
provided
agreement
for
with
Gardenia. Not on this one. I know, because
No,
that's
there-
going to be interconnected.
So the way the Gardenia Reserve was built, so
Mhm.
we did the extension and the widening of Sadler between Golden Orchard and Gardenia Reserve. So that portion of Sadler we paved with Gardenia Reserve.
Yes.
Okay, so Green Shade Grove goes all the way to the north and hits Sadler.
Okay.
And there is a left turn lane onto Sadler
Onto
from
Sadler.
Golden Gym Road. And there is a right decel as well, I believe.
Okay. So these three are kind of going to be.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, form-based code,
Let's see.
everything's interconnected. So,
Okay.
and now as far as the left turn lane with Golden Gym Road on this one, because we're working with Kimley Horn on the
Correct,
widening
on
of
the
Golden Gym
pond,
Road, and
yes, yes.
we've made the pond bigger so that we could accommodate
Yes,
that.
yeah.
They're going to incorporate the left turn lane into this development,
Yes, I agree with that.
into their widening plans that they're doing for the Golden Gym Road. So that's where the left turn
Yeah.
lane on that entrance will come
I'm
from.
asking just because I came late And
Sure. No. Yeah.
just
Yeah. I
want to
talked
have
to.
some history of it, but that's my understanding.
So yeah, and I actually got an email from Kimley Horn, I think Friday. So they asked me for the design files for this so that they could incorporate that into
Okay, perfect.
their design set. So I sent that to them on Friday.
Yeah, that's good.
So really, my only question for you in regards to this, other than just your standard review comments, would be the discussions we had in regards to the lift station and whether we need to adjust the connection pressures on the lift station design.
Yes, we're making some progress on the upsizing of the 3,000 feet remaining on Kelly Park from
Okay.
6 to 12. We reached out to a few of the developments, and we'll see. I believe one of them will, at least the one across the Publix, the new Publix, is willing to work with us on that.
Oh,
So,
okay. On the north
yeah,
side.
so we're gonna try to speed up the process and hopefully have that resolved possibly by the end of the year.
I just need to know if you want me to adjust the lift station design connection pressure, because I used the standard model I had for the other subdivisions on Golden Gym Road, and that's, as we talked about. I just want to make sure I got this right before we get out there and
Yeah, I
start
believe
construction.
the latest data we had right now, what I was told from the field personnel, we have about 45 psi in that constriction area. So that's more than I believe the original was, like around 30 maybe.
No, it wasn't even close to that. It was like 15.
It wasn't? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I got lift station startups all the way back from Parkview when there was nothing on that force main.
Okay, how far are you going to be from
For
ordering
this one, on
pumps
this
into
one,
the- Mhm.
yeah, this one's a ways, man. This is a long distance. I mean, I can.
Okay.
I'm not saying I can't adjust it to 45 psi, but what that's going, what that's going to do to me. I mean, I'm just going to be putting in giant pumps, and as soon as you
No,
get
no,
that,
I know.
and as
that's
soon
what
as that
we're trying to
restriction
avoid.
gets reduced, it's going to go.
That's exactly what we're trying to avoid. We
Yeah.
need to upsize that 6-inch to 12, and that will resolve all the problems.
So if I need to design off the old original master plan numbers, that's fine. I just don't want to get out in a situation where we get to a lift station startup and that 12-inch hasn't been connected, and all of a sudden we're pumping off the pump curve.
Okay, let me sit down with Don maybe tomorrow, and we'll probably give you a call sometime
Okay.
tomorrow. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. Community development has nothing further to add. Police,
Nothing.
public works,
No other comments.
fire,
No comments, thank you.
building.
I don't have anything. Thanks.
All right. There are no other items on the agenda. Anybody have anything for discussion?
Yeah, I thought the Juneteenth road closures were going to be on this because it's got to go to council to approve the road closures. So
We did not receive anything to bring to DRC. That would be from recreation.
which are the Juneteenth
For
celebration?
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah.
So
I don't think our code requires you to go to council for road closures. It just has to be reviewed. We have just historically done it, planning has done it in the rare times of events, just to let people know.
I've been in the council meetings where we brought these parades
We
because we
have
do it
because
for.
we chose to.
We'll look into it and
Yeah.
see
Okay,
what
so
yeah.
we go to council for the Martin Luther King road closures. I don't know if we're my comment is that we need to keep in mind that if the promoters are going to do road closures, they need to coordinate with us, and we're going to need 8 to 10 off-duty officers, and that's going to be, otherwise we can't recommend the road closures. So I don't know where that's going to go, but
Yeah, it doesn't.
I just want to get that on folks' radar. I mean, whether it goes council or not, I don't care. I just want to make sure the promoter understands up front, if we're going to close down roads, that we need probably 8 to 10 officers. So, and I don't want to wait till the last second before that's addressed. So.
Steve, I believe it doesn't necessarily have to come to DRC. I believe we can put it on the consent agenda at the next council meeting. We still have time.
Okay.
Because I'm placing one for next week,
Mhm.
which is going to be the roundabout on Binion Road.
Okay. I don't want them to be surprised. Hey, uh, you know,
Yeah.
nobody said anything, and so when they're doing the permits and submitting the permits and stuff for the road closures, that they're going to need off-duty officers.
Okay. Yeah, there's nothing in the land development code. Everything about closure is solid waste. It's under solid waste management, and then one is just a site design thing. We'll look into it.
Yeah,
I'll get back with you.
that's fine. I was specifically briefed by the chief to bring this up today, so
All right.
I'm good either way.
Okay. All right. Anybody have anything else before we adjourn? No? We're adjourned.